In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace be upon you. Today is Thursday morning in Pakistan, the 14th, and Asim Munir's de facto Form 47 Military Rule Day 166. Now, let's move on to today's important news, and first, let's talk about US President Trump's visit to China. Officially, it's a 3 day visit, but these 3 days are extremely important for the entire world. Its effects will also be felt in Pakistan. Its impact will also be felt on this region and, in fact, on the entire world. Most significantly, it will have profound effects on the global economy. In the coming days, the technology economy, especially the AI economy, will be shaped by this. Besides that, as you know, most of the world's manufacturing currently takes place in China, whether it's Amazon or other major American companies. Their future depends on the relationship between the US and China. Take Apple, for example. Almost all of its phones are still manufactured in China, except for a small portion of production that has now been moved to India or other locations. Similarly, most other American companies also largely depend on China. But this dependence is not one sided. Chinese companies also rely on the American market. So both sides need each other. Whether it's facing off in terms of military power or economic competition, China and the United States are now locked in a rivalry, with each viewing the other as an adversary or even an enemy. In any case, President Trump's background is such that wherever he goes, he leaves a story behind. Let's see if he does the same in China or not. Personally, I don't think so. I don't think that he will make any such statement to the Chinese president or during this visit to China. Anything that would cause unpleasantness, he always treats China with great caution, except for when he imposed tariffs on China. Those tariffs had such severe effects on the entire world, including America itself, that President Trump had to deal with them both through the courts and personally. After that, if you notice, he started treating China with a great deal of respect. He had thought that when he imposed the tariffs, China would When he imposed tariffs on other countries, they fell to their knees. This is what he thought would happen with China as well. And to some extent, this is true because China is heavily dependent on the American market. But China surprised President Trump. Instead of falling to their knees when the tariffs were imposed, China played its own cards and played them very well. After that, the match became deadlocked, just as at that time President Trump is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz as well as on the issue of China's tariffs. He was almost similarly stuck before as well. Then President Trump took back his earlier decision and never again threatened China with tariffs. That's why I think this visit will go very well, and there won't be any major dangerous consequences coming out of it. But let me briefly tell you what's going to happen during this visit, and then we'll talk about our local news. Because after Sister Maryam, now there's another. They always wanted me to become a doctor, but the way they talk about doctors, it's as if, according to them, becoming a doctor is the most useless profession in the world. The poor doctors must be thinking, we studied ourselves to death, struggled to compete on merit, and now these people, with their looks and their attitude, are saying that our families wanted us to become doctors, but we never wanted to be doctors ourselves. And as for the stories they tell regarding Donald Trump's visit, the main focus is on two or three things. One is trade, especially AI chips and artificial intelligence, which will be a major point of emphasis. That's why prominent businessmen have accompanied President Trump on this trip, whether it's Elon Musk or Micron, the company that manufactures chips, or others related to this field. The CEOs of all such companies, the driving forces behind these companies, are also traveling with President Trump on this visit. This is because some companies face restrictions on supplying goods to China, while others are prohibited from importing chips from China to the US. Every company is facing some kind of difficulty, and they hope that this visit will resolve those issues. So, one aspect of this trip is economic, related to the economy. Taiwan is a territory that China firmly considers to be an integral and inseparable part of its own sovereign nation. However, within the borders of Taiwan itself, The prevailing sentiment among the people and the government is a clear declaration that they are already a fully independent and self governing state. At the same time, the United States maintains a complex relationship with the island, officially recognizing its democratic governance and regarding Taiwan as a significant independent partner in the region. There is a significant presence of the US Navy, and while it hasn't exactly imposed a blockade could be enforced at any time. All of China's energy networks pass through the South China Sea, and the situation with Taiwan is the same. So, China will obviously have demands there as well, namely that the US should pull back a bit and not have its navy stationed so prominently there. These are some of the major issues, and as for trade, there will also be discussions on chip technology. I think that President Trump, who has brought business people along with him, will definitely provide relief to the CEOs of those companies there and make some major announcements. After observing all these things, I will update you later on how much benefit or loss there was because I keep buying and selling stocks. So, considering this whole situation, I have made quite a few stock investments in it. What is your reading on this? In any case, when the visit concludes, I will definitely present to you what the overall conclusion was. Now, moving forward, the next situation here is that on the very day President Trump arrived, the US sent a strong message to China. Such messages at the state level are always part of the posturing that all states engage in. This is nothing new. But the story is quite interesting. The agency, the FBI, has claimed that there was a secret police system set up by China. According to the FBI's accusations, the US state is accusing that two citizens who were Chinese American and living in New York had established a secret police station in Manhattan, New York. On the surface, it appeared to be a station that was set up during the COVID days so that if American citizens needed help, or if there was any other problem within the system, a center was set up by the Chinese community for them so that people present there could help them. But the FBI says that in reality, it was a secret police office, and from there, they would monitor all those Chinese who write or speak against their government or with whom their government is not happy. Think of it like people such as myself or other prominent figures who are not liked by the current regime and what we call transnational repression. This falls under the category of transnational repression. The secret police station that was set up in Manhattan, New York, was allegedly established by the Chinese government, according to the FBI. They have brought charges against two people. One of them has become a state witness and admitted that this is exactly what happened. The other person denies it, saying that this is not the case. He claims that the center was set up solely to help people. Anyway, the case continued. The first inquiry into this case began in 2023, although it was established in 2022. Then, in 2023 and later in 2024, arrests were made. One person became a state witness and pleaded guilty. The case progressed, and now a sentence has been handed down, which was announced yesterday on May 13th. The sentence was handed down by a New York court, and now the person who did not become a state witness and kept denying the charges has been given a long prison sentence of 30 years. The one who became a state witness has not been sentenced yet, but the one who stood firm has been given a 30-year sentence for running a secret police station. On the 13th, President Trump is also arriving there, and it was on the 13th that this sentence was announced. This also carries significance as it sends a message from America about where we stand on all these matters. Moving forward, we have another very sensational piece of news that has caused a lot of concern after reading it. This news was printed by Dawn, written by journalist Ali Akbar for Dawn. He says that in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it has been revealed that more than 2,000 government employees have been facilitating terrorists. He says that the investigation it has been decided to take action according to a plan. The allegation is that at least 2,000 provincial government employees have assisted terrorists. Now, this is not a small number. From this, you can gauge the situation on the ground. One way to respond, which is generally what our generals would think, is to immediately reach for their guns and empty their magazines. The other wiser approach is to consider how extensive this issue really is. Such a conceptual kind of infiltration of this entire ideology has taken place that it shows just how flawed your policies are, that even government officials are supporting them. If you use force in this situation, this divide will only widen further, this rift will grow even more, and in the coming days, you will face even greater difficulties. Here, it is crucial to make decisions very thoughtfully, incorporating the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and making them a part of the process. A strategy should be developed here. But your problem is that the person whom people across Pakistan voted for with more than a two-thirds majority, whose name is Imran Ahmed Khan Niazi, who should actually be the Prime Minister of Pakistan right now, and who should be making inclusive decisions by including the public, you have put him in jail and are depriving him of his human rights. You have made him almost blind in one eye, and his treatment. Many people, when I meet them in my personal life, ask me this question: Mr. Gul, is this just a political statement, or has Imran Khan's eye really been damaged? So let me make it clear to you that it is not just Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf saying this. The doctors at PIMS themselves say that 85% of his vision has been lost. Generally, government representatives, government doctors, government officials always tend to downplay things a bit. I'm giving you an example. In reality, they would say that only 50% or 30% of the vision is gone. If they are saying 85%, then I believe that 95% has actually been lost because they have to downplay the severity of the problem. Government people never exaggerate it. So neither Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf nor any of us have any direct contact with Imran Khan. Whatever information has become clear about the situation has come through Salman Safdar, who is Imran Khan's. He presented this to Salman Safdar. Salman Safdar is by no means a representative of PTI. He is only Imran Khan's lawyer and a professional attorney. He simply conveyed what he was told. So please keep in mind that this is exactly how the situation stands. Never consider it a political statement like those from Maryam Nawaz and Nawaz Sharif, who would claim to have a heart attack with every heartbeat. Remember, 14, 14. This is not a case of heart attacks or that kind of situation. The government doctors themselves are saying that 85% of his eyesight is gone. So keep that in mind. The situation in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is extremely serious and very dangerous. Once again, we urge Pakistan's military generals to exercise some wisdom. Let the true representatives of the people make decisions. Include the public in the decision making process, not. Now, even the touts among newspapers and journalists have started writing what we have been saying for the past 1.5 to 2 years. This is a story from Daily Jang written by Ansar Abbasi. Apologies, the hypocrite Ansar Abbasi. He says that the Apex Committee of the FC has been completely silent for 16 months. 16 months have passed, meaning it's been almost a year and a half. Even the person in charge of this committee is a general, and this is the committee that was supposed to bring in $100 billion of investment. This is the committee that was supposed to launch the Green Initiative. This is the committee that was supposed to do all sorts of things, and generals always think that politicians are incompetent, incapable, and downright foolish, while they themselves know everything from the economy to wars, from educational institutions to religious matters. They believe only they truly understand everything. But whenever you give them the opportunity to work, they end up ruining the country. And maybe in their own field they are fine, but when it comes to other matters, they claim to have complete knowledge. And then they make the same kind of statements as Maryam Nawaz did yesterday. And today, another lady, her attendant, was saying that she didn't become a doctor by her own choice either. So the generals make similar statements. Now they say that the SAFC is completely silent. The Special Investment Facilitation Council hasn't held a meeting for almost a year and a half. They also leak these stories through their own people, and they have table stories published as well. Ansar Abbasi, for example, is analyzing these matters so you can understand the real situation yourself. Moving on, the office of Mr. Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has officially declared this is the story we covered in our last vlog, and I told you it was a bombshell story. Now that's exactly what's happening, and it has developed further. Now that it has happened, everyone has been shaken. The background is that the Israeli Prime Minister's office has revealed that in the month of March, Netanyahu secretly went to the UAE, and there he met with the president of the UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, in Al Ain. This place is near the Oman border. The meeting took place on March 26th and lasted for several hours. Now, Reuters is also reporting this, and other major journalistic organizations are also covering this news, are breaking the news. They say that a very close source, the chief of Mossad, Mossad being Israel's intelligence agency, also visited the UAE 2 to 3 times during this war. It was he who arranged for the transfer of all missile defense systems and other equipment there. Now, Israel has issued this statement. As I told you yesterday, this statement was not given without the UAE's consent. Denied it. Several hours after this statement was released, a formal denial was issued from the UAE, stating that there was no meeting between the UAE president and the Israeli prime minister. As for the reality, I leave that to you to decide. However, the fact that Israel made this statement at this particular time is very significant. Moving on, let me present the next news to you, and you will be surprised. The news is that the Punjab government has now included in the province's educational curriculum decided to include Haqq in it. It's not just about the educational curriculum. Even the morning prayer that used to be recited in schools, the one that would come to our lips, will now be replaced with the prayer of Haqq. Furthermore, those familiar with the details of this matter say that it was also discussed in the committee that the name of Air Marshal Sahib should be included, as well as the name of Maryam Nawaz Sahiba in this morning prayer recited in schools. Just look at Pakistan's fate. Our incompetent girl, Uzma Bukhari, was chairing the meeting in which it was being decided which prayer children should recite in school in the morning. The next part is also related to this, and that is under the chairmanship of Uzma Bukhari, who is in charge of the Ministry of Information's Form 47, a meeting of the Information Steering Committee was held. She pleaded, I'm telling you, she pleaded with folded hands that they are planning to go as far as banning all music bands from performing, which follows their previous harsh decision where they have already completely cut off the essential water supply to the area. Furthermore, in a very concerning development that has just recently come to light, the prominent political figure Rana Sanaullah has made a series of statements and taken actions that have further complicated this already difficult and tense situation for everyone involved. Mr. Sanaullah said on national television that the coming days are going to be very difficult for us. The anchor asked why, and he replied, because India is going to cut off our water, so it's going to become a big problem for us. We will have to make great sacrifices and use water very carefully. It means don't keep bathing, don't keep washing, we shouldn't stop breathing or anything, even if the water is cut off. If you want to go, then how can the poor people get water? Their own water is running, so that's fine. Meaning the water from their own house or office is being discharged, that's okay, so they don't have any problem. Anyway, yesterday we showed you a video. Let's also include a lighter piece of news for you. Yesterday we showed you a video, and let's show it again. There were two videos. One was a close frame shot, and the other was a wider frame shot in which is happening and she stood there. If you look at the wider frame, which we're playing for you on both screens together, you'll see that there's nothing like that. Everyone is just quietly standing there and the lady arrives. Now, we thought we'd present the next incident to you. We don't know which of the two inspired the other. This is Alia Bhatt. I think she's Mahesh Bhatt's daughter and a film actress from India. She's called a Nepo. In Bollywood, there are children whose parents were already in the film industry and they get entry very easily and land good films. She is one of them, and this allegation is also made against her. She went to France, where the Cannes Film Festival is taking place. Now, obviously, when you write it in English, it looks like Cannes Film Festival because it's a French word. So that's why people often use the French pronunciation. It's a very beautiful area. If you ever get the chance to go, it's in southern France. Antibes, Nice, Cannes. It's a truly stunning region. If you ever have the opportunity to visit, you should definitely go there. I believe, and let me say this in a word, that the greatest lessons a person learns are from their mother. After that, from college, university, and school. But if there is anything in the world that teaches you the most after that, it is travel, the journey. Whether you have little money or a lot, whether you travel cheaply or expensively, you must travel. Travel makes you wiser, it makes you more accommodating, it helps you understand diversity, and it also helps you realize how God has created such a varied world. You step out of your own little pond like a frog in a well. Anyway, coming back to the story, Alia Bhatt arrived there. Now, because no one knew Alia Bhatt there, so she must have met someone, maybe a friend or an acquaintance. She arrived there and she also, here, watch this video. She created quite a stir, waving her hand as if all the cameramen knew her. Now, this video of hers, this isn't the same video as the ones she herself broadcasted in India. In those, you can't really tell, but the video we have is from a wider frame. In it, you can see that none of the young photographers standing there have any idea who she is. Because, as you know, cameramen immediately point their camera straight at someone they recognize. All of them are looking only at her and taking her pictures. Last time, she went wearing those big glasses on her face, the same kind that Garida Faruqi wears these days, thinking that wearing them will make her look educated. But people often don't understand that if the product is bad, I'm not saying she's a bad person, I'm talking about the things that come out of her mouth, then it doesn't help. If you try to overly improve or market it more, it will actually backfire because you'll become more prominent. People will pay even more attention to you. And when they do, they'll realize even more intensely what is coming out of your mouth. So just like she sits in Pakistan like a Bedford truck and thinks that makes her look educated, last time she also went wearing those big glasses. Later on, this time, the poor thing went without glasses, and the situation was the same. Now you have to decide between the two, Alia Bhatt and our own, who is also called Bhatti. By the way, Miss Maryam and so on, they also call her that since she is from Kashmir and is a Bhatt. So between our Maryam Bhatt and Alia Bhatt, which one is more talented? I would say they are both actresses, but both have done the same thing. No one was paying attention to either of them, but from their own side, both have managed the whole affair. Musli, our friend, once said that he and Madhuri are about to get married and that 50% of the arrangements have already been settled. When someone asked him how, he said, "When it comes to a boy and a girl, I am the boy, and from my side, it's a complete yes. As for Madhuri, I don't know yet. But since it's a yes from my side, that means 50% of the arrangements are done." In the same way, both these ladies went to the entire conference and carried out this act. The officer is Safdar Gondal, who was caught at Lahore airport trying to get bottles of alcohol out through protocol arrangements. A passenger on a foreign flight brought with him nearly 65 bottles of high quality alcohol, which the officer tried to have released. According to the law, action will be taken against Safdar Gondal. PIA is saying this. Well, all day long, whether it's Lahore, Islamabad, or Karachi, bottles of alcohol are constantly being taken out, and all these friends, 95% of the people there are doing exactly this. Many times the deals aren't settled in between. For example, if there are 65 bottles, someone might lie and say there are only 25 because the bribe has to be paid according to that number. Many times arguments and fights break out, bribes aren't paid, or someone takes someone else's share of the bribe at the last moment. That's how these matters come to light. Otherwise, you could say this is just routine. If these 65 be If these come out at every airport, then these isolated incidents that you see only come to light when there's some kind of scuffle or dispute. Moving forward, according to airport sources, this is Mohammed Umair reporting. This news also reminded me that Mohammed Umair's report is about the recent allegation at the airport, the one against Iqrar Hassan, that he got into a fight. Now, a new allegation is being made against him, though it's unclear how much to. It appears that he deliberately got into the fight because he was coming from abroad. He had brought 16 bags with him. He had 16 bags when he was traveling from abroad. And in the commotion of the fight, he created such a scene that no one even checked his bags and he just walked out with them as they were. So basically, now he is being accused of actually wanting to smuggle his bags out. And that's why he staged the whole drama at the airport. He staged the drama. And of course, another accusation arising from this is whether there was alcohol or any other such items involved in those bags. Let's move on to the next news. Take a look at film star Resham here. She is meeting someone. Now, hopefully, this is not an AI generated image because we tried to verify it ourselves and it didn't seem like an AI image to us. If it turns out to be, then apologies, but I don't think so. We worked on it ourselves, ran it through AI software, and asked if it was AI generated, and we were told it wasn't. So just pay attention and consider that you might think of her as a maid. She is kissing her hand. So just imagine if film star Risham got a chance to meet Maryam Nawaz, what all would she end up kissing? What I mean to say is she might even go as far as kissing her feet. This is the situation here. But then what else can people do? After all, they also have to get medals and honors. Now, speaking of medals, there's a lot of buzz about them these days. For example, you know that Mr. Afridi also received a medal. At the end, there's a but there was an MPA from the People's Party who was elected 2 or 3 times. First, he served as their MPA, then they made him a judge, and now they've given him a medal as well, Justice Didar Ali Shah. When he was being awarded the medal, there was an uproar with people saying this is injustice. Yes, there was an uproar in Aiwan Sadr with people saying this is injustice. After that, the Federal Minister for Energy, Owais Legari, was also given a medal, a Halal Imtiaz. This is considered. I can't even power my own constituency. I lack the capacity. Power is out 18 hours daily. Perhaps that's why he got the medal. Or maybe it's because he taxed solar owners, hiked net metering fees, raised circular debt, and made electricity more expensive everywhere. Perhaps these services are being recognized. It's remarkable that neither he nor the givers felt any shame. Even while receiving it, they felt no shame. Next, Ms. Benish Salim from the field of journalism, Tamga-e-Imtiaz, and Ms. Benish Salim also made a tweet, read it, and bow your heads. Look at this tweet on the screen. She says, when I was in O levels and A levels, though honestly, she doesn't really look like someone who did O levels and A levels, but let's assume she did. So she says, when I was in O levels and A levels, my mother wanted me to become a doctor. I was very bright. I said, let it go. I don't want to become one. Now, both Maryam Nawaz and her, this employee of hers, understand this as well. They too. We didn't want to become doctors by our own choice. Just think about the basic IQ level of people like this. Think about the fact that they don't even realize that whenever these two sisters open their mouths, it's immediately obvious that they were not fit to become doctors. Just listen to the way they talk in this short video. Notice what kind of fragrance spreads. Listen to the video, observe their facial expressions, watch their body language, and from that you can judge for yourself. Could she ever have even become a nurse in her life? Listen to them.
Even in Adiala jail, they have a servant. And they've been given a servant quarter. It's said that when their helper cooks with desigi, the aroma spreads throughout the entire jail.
Did you hear that? So this is the situation. Moving on, Lance Naik Mona Alam. She is also a toot journalist. She too has a job and all that. Ms. Benish Salim, whom we were talking about earlier, has also been given a job at PTV. Similarly, Miss Mona Alam is also a tout-like journalist. About them. All the other people as well, they have also been given medals and whatnot. Whose names should I even mention now? They have even disgraced the medals themselves. What has come to light is that whoever receives this medal gets permission to use the VIP lounge, to use government guest houses, to keep a weapon license, and even to keep weapons without a license. One pistol or revolver, one rifle, a .22 bore rifle, a shotgun, and cash rewards as well. This is also given to them along with it.